I'm sure I've still got some, and I know the high 8 camera, unless you use it every 2 or 3 months, the capacitors will dry out and it can't be repaired.
Irving has his hand up.
Sorry, what?
Irving.
I've still got some, and I know the high 8 camera, unless you use it every 2 or 3 months, the capacitors will dry out and can't be repaired.
He has his hand up. Irving, you have a question?
Irving.
No, we can't hear you at all. Sorry. Carl, you have your hand up.
Resolution.
Yeah, thank. I don't know if I'm stepping on somebody or not, but I had a question on, I want to help a friend of mine with some TV settings. And the best way to do it would be to link with her phone. And what is being used today? Is Skype being used, or is something else being used that it would download on the cell phone?
The Old Testament is the word.
Zoom works on all devices and systems. And Zoom is a lot less system intensive.
So what I need, Bob, to just
Set up a Zoom meeting.
Just go to Zoom and it'll download. I have Zoom. We're using Zoom now on here, but would she go on her cell phone and just type Zoom in Google search or what?
Well, you'd have to set up a meeting, a Zoom meeting. One of you has to be the host and the other one can then join that Zoom meeting.
Okay, well, I have Zoom on my PC now.
Okay.
So in her case, would she just go to Google?
You set up the meeting and send her the link. And she then follows that link, and she can do that through the phone, and you then connect. You can be on your TV, she can be on the phone, or you can start the meeting on your phone and send the link to her and she joins you.
But she doesn't have Zoom installed. That's what he's talking about.
No, but it'll tell her to. It'll lead her through that.
She can simply do Zoom directly through the internet. You do not need to be installed on your system to be able to join a meeting.
That's what I understood you to say. In this case, I have her mobile number. Is that what I would use? If I go into my Zoom now, is there a place where I set up a meeting? I've never done this.
Yes.
Okay.
Best thing to do is go to Zoom itself and watch one of their videos, because they have lots of, or do a YouTube search for how to start a video, how to start a Zoom meeting.
Oh,
that would be the best way of doing it.
That's great input, Bob. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. Carl, you have to host the meeting, and when you do, you'll get a invite form that Zoom prepares that allows you to copy it. When you send that invite form to the person you want to connect with, it lists a whole bunch of phone numbers that they can use to make the connection.
Okay, so what do I give for the invite for her? Do I give her mobile number or?
Here's where you have to follow Bob's suggestion, and you have to understand what it takes to be a host. It's not just like you're signing in now, you're an attendee, but a host has a bunch of other responsibilities. Too much to kind of explain right now, but looking at some of the YouTube videos and the Zoom videos that provide how to be a host will help you.
All right, good input. Thanks again.
Of course, she has to have a smartphone. My wife's phone wouldn't work for that.
Of course.
Go ahead, Irving.
Okay, try it again. My problem was I had forgotten to plug in the microphone, so there was the problem. So seeing I've got Ron's attention at the moment, I just wanted to let you know that in the last newsletter, you had a tip for putting the date on the Chromebook tray.
Right.
And okay, and so I followed up on it. And I was in fact able to do that. But I just wanted to mention to you and all that I used to be able to get the date on the Chromebook by clicking on the time, and the date would pop up. And then recently it stopped popping up. And so your tip was, if you'll pardon the pun, was very timely, and I appreciate it.
Well, thank you. And I wanted to thank also in the chat, Anne posted a very kind comment about their PP group watched my navigating the post-COVID era, and she thanked me so much for the video. Thanks so much, Anne. You know, Anne, that darn video took me so long to make. It was like a marathon movie, and it took so long, and it got really very little exposure. So I'm so thankful out of the bottom of my heart that you watched it, because it was certainly a much bigger project than I'll ever do again, I think. So thanks so much for watching it.
Our group really
Jim,
appreciated.
go ahead.
Our group really appreciated.
Okay, well, thanks so much for watching it. I'm really glad you did. Jim, you have a question?
You're muted.
And I just had a comment, just as a reminder, when you set up a personal account, the free account on Zoom, you only got 30 minutes at times. They have to be able to.
40 minutes.
Last time I looked.
40 minutes.
40
Okay,
minutes.
40.
But that's only if it's more than 2 people on the line. So if this is only just 2 people, it's unended. It's when you have 3 or more that kicks in.
Ah, okay, thank you.
Martha, did you have a question, or are you have to unmute yourself?
Last night on the news, there was a fellow that was showing something, and it was on, I can't remember what he said, but it was like hacking. And he said you could go online and go to have I been, and then it was PWNED question mark. Do you have comment on that?
Have I been pawned?
Yes.
And it showed, he brought up a couple of things and showed that how many things you can see where you've been hacked into, or where they could find out all kinds of information when you've been on the internet.
We did a segment on that not that long ago, correct?
Yes.
Well, maybe I missed it.
Hey,
Yeah,
all our segments are taped.
Yeah. If you put in your email address in I've been pawned, it'll come back with any breaches where your information may have been leaked. And you'll be able to see which ones, and those it suggested you go in and change your passwords to.
Oh, yeah, everybody says that very often. So, yeah. Thank you.
And Hewie, I think you can put your phone number in there also now.
Oh, really?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Mm.
Everybody got quiet.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Bill, if nobody said anything yet.
They have.
I
They
hope,
have.
Good morning, Pam.
Thank you. Good morning, Pam. They have mentioned that already. We're going to, a birthday's a birthday.
We all have one a year.
Do you really want us to sing you a birthday song?
No.
When I was a bartender, I used to have 2 or 3 a year because it always helped the jar.
But thank you.
I just wanted to mention, if you use the Firefox browser, they have a built-in monitor. You have to create an account, and then they monitor all your emails you have. And they give you a tip or a message when they find everything, anything on the web. There are several big data files on the internet where the police and other researchers have collected, where they have found stolen emails and passwords and everything, and they will report it to you. In the Firefox, called Firefox Monitor.
They have something similar also in Chrome.
Bob, we reached 100.
Yes.
So we'll see.
Hopefully some people are joining us on YouTube.
Yeah, they're live. Yeah, I put the live feed on. So yes.
And you still have 2 minutes to go.
2 minutes to go.
Perhaps this gives me the opportunity to thank you, Ron. In one of the last sessions, you mentioned the Authy authenticator.
Right.
Yeah, just for 2FA. And this is a real pleasure to use because you can use it on the PC and on your app. And before this, I always had to grab my smartphone and take out the PIN number and put it on the screen. And now I have everything on my PC screen. This is a real relief.
Yeah, it's great. It works really well.
Yeah.
Authy, AUTHYN, it is free. Joel, did you have a question before?
Yes, I do, if we can.
We got 1 minute. Is it a short one?
Matt, is it, who knows the answer? For those who have tried the Wise 47 watch, there is a selection for right hand or left hand. I am left-handed and wear my watch on the right hand, have indicated so in the setups and don't see it taking any action. Has anybody had any success with the Wise watch and setting it to wearing it on your right wrist?
Oh, Bill.
I haven't tried it because it's on my left wrist.
I'm left-handed.
Okay.
I tried it. I was hoping it would turn the screen upside down so that I could wear it on my right wrist with the stem out, so as not to have to reach over the watch to press the stem.
Let's follow this up on the Joel. Can we follow this up on the Q&A because it's 9 o'clock? We have to start the show now.
Yeah, and there was an
lower
update
my
for the,
hand.
there was an update for the watch yesterday too.
All right. Okay, let's get the show started. We've got people in the waiting room and over on our YouTube channel ready to go. I'm going to mute all, share my screen, and we will share the sound. And we'll get going. Tech for Senior, episode 58. It is May the 3rd, 2021. Welcome everyone to another great show. I see we have just 100 in the waiting room, or 100 online with the Zoom, and so it's going to be a fun time. Welcome to all those over on our streaming service on YouTube. Thanks for coming. The services are a little bit different. We are streaming the show. There's two avenues to the show. The first is, of course, our Zoom meeting today, and this will go along for about an hour, and we will have a number of pre-recorded segments for you, and then the question and answer will start at 10 o'clock or top of the hour, and we will have about 20-minute Q&A. For those of you over on the Zoom side, the show will go on for about 50 minutes, and just prior to the music segment with Ray, we'll be stopping the live section on YouTube. Now, For those of you who wonder whatever happens to these episodes, well, we tape them all, and you can actually go back and watch all our prior shows. So we wanted to thank everyone for coming today. It is your enthusiasm and your keenness that keeps us all going and keeps us producing shows for you. It was a year ago. I just wanted to let you know that on episode 6, that was May the 4th, 2020, on episode 6 that we had our show. So if you wanted to go back and look at that show, I looked at it this morning, and of course Bob did his security update, and I did an interesting video. I made a book. It was called Facebook to Photos in a Flash, and this is a service that Facebook had just started on moving your photos from Facebook to Google Photos. This actually has expanded, and is now you can put your posts and a lot more services from Facebook over onto your Google Drive or other accounts. You may want to look at that again and say, okay, this might be something that you're interested in doing. Hewie, do you remember what you talked about on May the 6th?
I remember explicitly. Tell me.
You talked about something that was really interesting. It was pixelate. You talked about pixelating an online pictures, and I thought that was I'd forgotten all about that because I'm going to use that anyway. It was a great talk, and you talked on online pixelation, so you can take your pictures and blur the background or blur segments there. So that was sort of interesting. So if you want to go back and look at our recorded segment, it is episode 6 on May the 4th. All right, let's welcome everyone to the show. Let's welcome our presenters today and my co-host Hewie. How the heck did your week go?
Last week went pretty smoothly. This week I've got a busy week.
Yeah.
I've got this presentation. I have one on Wednesday, another one on Thursday. Wednesday night we have our STUG meeting, and I do the intro for it. On Thursday we also do the Tech for Senior Live, and then Sunday is my Windows 6.
You have a busy week.
Yes, going to be very busy.
And of course, you know that, remember everyone that, of course, for Tech for Senior Live on Thursday, Jolyn Bowler is going to be our guest on, and she is the techies, I guess the seniors techie. How will we describe her? She's the tech of all techs, right? And she's really delightful person to have on, and we're going to have her on to answer your questions. So be sure and join in on Thursday morning.
Yeah, she's from the Hilton Head, South Carolina, a user group, and she is their go-to person when they have questions, and she does a lot of their presentations. She's
really good.
Very good.
Yeah,
A lot of information.
Yeah, so give her some complicated questions when you come on Thursday. Give her some tough questions. We want it. Don't give us the tough questions. Give her the tough questions. Bob, how the heck are you? Bob, you posted a great. Do you want to tell me about the video you posted on our Facebook page today? You're muted. Go ahead. You're good.
I shouldn't be muted.
No, you're okay.
You're fine.
You're fine.
A video about taking a ride inside your dishwasher. I didn't make it. I just happened to find it. But it wasted about 20 minutes this morning of my time because it was interesting.
Yeah.
And it's worth taking a look at. If you want to see how your dishwasher actually works, because this had a GoPro inside the dishwasher. It did destroy parts of it, but that's all right. It worked. You got to see how the dishwasher actually works.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So, if you got an hour you want. Oh, it's also, he's done time chapters on it. So if you go down into the description, you can see what the wash cycle looks like and what the cleaning cycle, and you can go all through, and it'll show you how the plates are cleaned in a dishwasher. Pretty cool.
Guacamole is hard to get off a dish.
And Ray, you're becoming famous. Oh my gosh, what a presentation you did for APCUG's conference this weekend.
Well, it was fun. And I think I had mentioned I've gotten more than one inquiry about, Ray, what do I do now? I just bought a new car and it doesn't have a CD player. And yes, times are changing. And I remind people, remember when we had 8-track players that disappeared and cassette players that disappeared? So nothing new, we're evolving. So I gave a little talk about how you can take your existing CD collection and use them in the newer cars today.
Yes, and the great news is, what is the great news you're about to tell us?
Well, I think if you have some time next week, I will put an abbreviated version of that for the Tech for Seniors group. For those that missed it, some of you don't belong to the computer clubs we help with at APCUG. So this way we can get the word out to everybody.
Ah, that is great. Thanks so much for doing that. So that'll be a great show. And the following week, we have Chris and Jim Gould from Geeks on Tour talking about all the changes that are occurring with Google Photos. So that will be the following week. So we have a busy month for you. Lots happening. This week, I just wanted to give you a couple of brief things. We mentioned a little bit early on about the big battle between Roku and Google TV and YouTube TV. So this heated up all week. And basically, we're not talking about YouTube, we're talking about YouTube TV. And Roku, the licensing agreement ran out and Roku did not renew it. So if you are trying, apparently, if you have the existing service, YouTube TV on your Roku device, it will continue to access and be fine. But if you want a new service and you have a Roku device, you can't get YouTube TV, which is, can't those guys get it together? Why can't everyone just get along? I think this is just so annoying because it's a big service. A lot of people have YouTube TV and a lot of people have Roku devices. I have Roku devices in all my TCL TVs. Anyway, just before we go, before we get to Bob's segment, for those of you who saw the Saturday newsletter, some of you probably didn't look right down at the bottom, but I broke rank for a while because I saw this. This video was the most incredible video. It was of this lady who's an expert singer. She obviously is professional, and she was singing to her 3-month-old baby, and she had a really good voice, and she was singing a love song to this baby, and the baby was actually trying to sing with her. I don't know if everyone saw that or played it, but it was just so hard. It was. You should play it every morning before you get up and go out. It just would set your day. So it was on the Saturday newsletter. So if you haven't signed up for our newsletter, please do so. It has all the information, all the links to all the shows and everything. So please sign up and make sure you get it. It's free. Comes out twice a week. Bob, are you ready to go?
As soon as you're finished.
Okay. I'll stop talking.
Here is the Avast Security News Roundup for the week ending April 30th, 2021. Patch your Mac against this attack. Mac users are urged to update their system to Big Sur 11.3 as soon as possible in order to patch a vulnerability that allows a malware known as Slayer to bypass all the Apple security measures, including Gatekeeper and File Quarantine. The problem stems from a logic error in Apple's operating system that misclassifies Slayer as a safe file. In truth, Slayer is malicious and it burrows deep into the user's system from where it launches an adware scam. These malware attacks have been active since January, but Apple's newest update patches the vulnerability. Macs have gained popularity in the last few years, although malware still prefers Windows due to its huge market share. Mac is also an attack target, said Avast security evangelist Louis Carones. Users should have their OS and applications updated, as well as having a security solution running to protect them against malware and the rest of the online threats that don't care what device we are using. Read more on Forbes. Emotate victims added to Have I Been Pawned? Per the FBI's request, the Have I Been Pawned website has now imported the email addresses of over 4,324,770 victims of Emotate, called the world's most dangerous malware by Europol. Have I Been Pawned founder Troy Hunt posted on his blog that the FBI approached him about using Have I Been Pawned as a viable means of alerting impacted individuals and companies that their accounts had been affected by Emotate. All impacted HIBP subscribers have been notified. Others can check if their email was involved in any data breach on the Have I Been Pawned website. Introducing the Fourth Amendment is Not for Sale Act. A bill is making its way through U.S. Congress that aims to block two increasingly common law enforcement surveillance tactics: purchasing personal data from Clearview AI and sourcing location data from third-party trackers. Both practices violate terms of the service agreement. The data provided by Clearview AI is comprised of photos and personal information scraped from social media sites. The bill has bipartisan support as well as endorsement by the American Civil Liberties Union, the Electronic Frontier Foundation, Freedom of the Press Foundation, Mozilla, and many other civil rights and technology groups. For more information, see the story on Vice. COVID ushers in new era of cybercrime. This week marked the release of a 2021 COVID Crime Index, a report that looks at the cybercrime trends that have emerged since the pandemic began. COVID-19 has ushered in a new era of cybercrime and online fraud for financial institutions, this report states. Overall, financial institutions detected a 29% rise in cybercrime attacks over the past year, and those attacks were launched at the same time that 51% of the institutions had to shift security strategies to accommodate work-from-home employees. Additionally, IT security, cybercrime fraud, and risk funding have been cut 26% over the past 12 months. The report suggests that the solution to this new era of crime comes down to three key pillars within a company: people, process, and technology. Read more on ZDNet. PlayStation Network down for over an hour. All PlayStation Network's services went down for over an hour this past Tuesday. The total outage affected every category on the PSN status page: account management, gaming, and social. PlayStation Now, PlayStation Video, PlayStation Store, and PlayStation Direct. Staffers at The Verge confirmed that during the downtime, they were unable to download items from the store, play multiplayer games, check leaderboards, nor load the PlayStation app on their phones. The outage appears to have been global. All services have since been restored. Alexa helped save a woman's life after deadly bee stings. The family has an Echo Show, an Alexa device with a screen. Norton's husband used drop-in to initiate a video call through the Alexa Show. Alexa's drop-in feature lets you start a call with a single smart speaker or smart display without anyone needing to answer on the other end. The call just starts and the recipient can hang up when they finish. That instant connection differs it from Alexa's standing calling function, which requires someone to answer on the other end. Thanks to the instant connection, Norton's husband coached their children and a neighbor through turning her on her side, finding the EpiPen and administering it. By that point, she had turned blue and was foaming at the mouth. Thanks to the camera, microphone, and speakers of the Echo Show, he could see and interact with the people helping. Sarah says she carries EpiPens everywhere she goes now, but having an instant coach available through the Echo Show saved her life. Without it, her children and neighbor may not have known what to do and how to do it. The latest Wise Watch 44 firmware is bricking watches. On Wise's forum, an employee stated that the company paused the update due to reports of bricked watches. We're seeing some reports that Wise sent out emails to affected users with instructions to join the Wise app beta to fix watches affected by the botched update. The instructions explicitly state not to remove the watch from the Wise app. You can join the Wise beta in the app by going to Account, About, Beta Program, Add Watch 44. If you have a Wise Watch 44, hold off on doing any updates. According to several reports we've seen on Facebook, Reddit, and Wise's forum, the latest update is bricking at least some Wise Watches 44 models. The Wise Watch 47 may be spared because it runs a totally different firmware. Read more on Review Geek. And that wraps up this week's Avast Security News Roundup. Stay safe, stay secure, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Bob. That was really interesting. I like the drop-in feature. I talk about that in my some of my videos, and that is I gotta talk to you later. I want to get that clip and get that information because that's really interesting, super interesting. All right, Dewey's not here today, but he did send his segment in, and we will share that now, and we will get. As soon as I can figure out where my share button went. What's going on here? Share screen. Share that.
Good morning, friends. I'm Dewey, and my Tech Talk topic for today is inkjet printers that summer south and photo scanners. In the 20-minute question and answer session after last Monday's Tech for Seniors meeting, a question was asked about printers. If I recall correctly, it was a lady needing a recommendation for an inkjet printer for their southern or southwestern wintering place. I didn't have the opportunity then to jump in with my 2 cents worth, so I'd like to share my thoughts and admittedly strong opinions with you now. I'll confine this part of my presentation to inkjet printers that print with both black and colored ink, which is probably the most common choice for home standalone printers and all-in-ones. Those are the types that can copy and scan. Now, this next point is so important I put it in yellow. From a printer cartridge point of view, it's important to know that there are 2 very different types of inkjet printers. One, those with built-in printheads, which use inkwell type carts, and 2, those without printheads, which use cartridges that have printheads built in. They're sometimes called integrated carts. Snowbirds who have a printer with built-in printheads and inkwell type carts often run into problems because summer heat and non-use can take its toll on the printer's printheads, causing them to dry up and harden. And that ain't fun. On the other hand, snowbirds with an inkjet printer using integrated printheads aren't affected by summer heat and non-use if they remove the carts from the printer and take them back home in a Ziploc bag or a sealed jar. I've been doing this for a dozen years with no problems at all. A couple of related points. When you buy new integrated carts, they come with a plastic clip designed to protect the cartridge heads when the carts aren't in use, including when you take the carts back home in that Ziploc bag and store them in your refrigerator over the summer. Also, if you can manage to have a printer back home that uses the same black and color carts as your Snowbird printer, you can just share the same set of carts between locations. Again, I've done this since 2009 with no problems. To be honest, integrated carts are not without problems, but they're easier to fix and work with and way less expensive to fix than replacing an inkwell type printer because its heads are hopelessly dried up. Integrated cartridges that fail, whether OEM or from an aftermarket supplier, are usually replaced at no charge. By the way, I've used aftermarket remanufactured carts for years with high quality results, even for printing photos. Unfortunately, I need to tell you that it's become more difficult to find inkjet printers and all-in-ones with integrated print heads. In my opinion, it's probably because printer manufacturers make more money selling the more frequently replaced printers with built-in print heads and inkwell type carts. Happily, especially if they're stored down south, of course. Happily, manufacturers like Brother, Hewlett-Packard, Canon, Epson, Lexmark, Xerox, and Dell still carry a few models of printers that require carts with integrated print heads. There's another difference between inkwell type carts and integrated carts that with the built-in print heads. Inkwell type carts are pretty much simple containers holding ink. Integrated carts, by comparison, contain sophisticated electrical and electronic circuitry that transfers complex information from your computer or device through terminals in the printer to terminals on the very smart cartridge. The photo at right shows a black ink and a tricolor ink integrated cartridge resting on their respective clips. That's the little black part sticking up. On the back side of each cartridge to the left is the electrical terminal strip that has about 35 terminals that interface with terminals in the printer. Those are the little gold dots you see. The terminals are also used to transmit information about printhead conditions and or problems, ink levels, and other proprietary information. The silver colored rectangular strip at the bottom of each cartridge, that's toward the right, is the cart's printhead. Accessibility, because you can take it out of the printer, allows the heads to be easily cleaned. The quality of printing using integrated printer carts is excellent, essentially the same as a printer with heads. In fact, both John and I have won prizes in photo contests with beautiful glossy photos printed by our inexpensive HP 6900 series printers using carts like the ones you've just seen. The remanufactured carts I use cost about 1/3 the cost of Hewlett-Packard carts and come from LD Products, see the ldproducts.com, in California. Despite occasional problems with their carts, exceptional customer service at LD Products makes up for the problems. Regarding all-in-one printers with scanners, I've never owned one for this reason. Though the printer may be as good as any other standalone printer, the scanner function is simple, basic, and mainly intended for documents and not photographs. I personally prefer the much higher resolution photo scanner that can scan everything in super high quality. I have an old Epson Perfection 4490 flatbed scanner that I use almost daily. Its tasks range from being a high quality photocopier to doing magnificent quality photo, film, and slide digitizing. To demonstrate a photo scanner's capability, here's a photo I just scanned from an old 2-inch by 2-inch Ektachrome slide. Remember Ektachrome? That was a long time ago. I snapped this at the 1962 World's Fair in Seattle. I always thought it was a kind of pretty picture. Well, that about does it for my rant on inkjet printers and photo scanners. If you have any questions, leave them in the chat and I'll do my best to address them. Meanwhile, there's a food fight-like dispute going on between Amazon's YouTube TV and Roku that could end up depriving YouTube subscribers like me from accessing it on Roku streaming devices and Roku TVs. I'll keep you posted next week if it hasn't been resolved. Well, that's my Tech Talk story for today. I'm sticking with it. Thanks for watching. Stay safe and have a great day.
Well, thanks, Dewey. Those of you who were watching that, if you looked at the live recording of Dewey speaking, what Dewey used as the backdrop there is a picture of his house. And when you replay this, if you look at the backdrop, you'll see Dewey is on his John Deere riding lawnmower. So next time you have a look at it, play it again, you'll see him there on his, and I've used some of that. I've used that picture occasionally in the, on our newsletter. Bob, did you have something we were gonna also, I think I interrupted you again on that one. Do you want to do your next segment?
Let's do that. File Explorer and how it's displayed. There are a couple of ways you can open File Explorer. Simply click on the icon in the taskbar and it opens. Another way to open it, use the Windows key and E for Explorer. And when you hit those two keys, again, File Explorer opens. File Explorer has more than one way in which to display the information to you. It likes to show it to you using quick access. But if you're like me and would rather like to see it in a different format, it's very easy to change it. Click on File, then click on Change Folder and Search Options. That opens up this window. And here, right now, you see it's opening as Quick Access. That's not what I want to see. You have a choice. It can also open up as this PC. So select it, then say Apply, close it down, and the next time you open it, now you get to see it as My PC. Now that doesn't mean the other stuff's disappeared, because right next to My PC, if you click that little arrow, you have a choice. All these things are available to you. Just a neat little trick. By default, it likes to open up in quick access. I prefer to see it as this PC. Your choice, your computer. Stay safe, be free. I hope this helps.
I gotta try that. That's a good idea, Bob. Yeah.
Different strokes for different folks.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. All right. I guess it's Hewie. Are you ready to roll?
I certainly am. And I'm going to carry what Bob showed a little bit further in the second part of my Windows 10 tips and tricks. Some Windows 10 tips and tricks that I presented to a help group recently online. I'm Hewie Poplock. Let me show you some other things about, let me full screen this so you don't have a lot of other things going on. But let's go back, and I just go back to my documents folder. I have, each of these are folders.
Yeah.
Right,
Okay. And then I also probably have at the bottom a bunch of files too.
right.
Okay. There's a couple things you can do with this. Number one is you can sort by anything here at the top. Right now it's sorted by name and it's sorted alphabetically. If I click it again, it reverses the order. So it starts with the files and then it starts at Z and goes down. If I click it again, it reverses it. It reverses the sorting. Now, what if I want to, gee, I have something. Oh, it is because I have a, if you'll notice, there's a exclamation point.
Ah, okay, I see it. Oh, see, okay.
And alphabetically, Windows handles an exclamation point before the alphabet and before the numbers. So if I want to force something to the top of my list, I put an exclamation point before the word. You hardly notice it, but it puts it at the top of the list. I use these two probably the most of anything. So it forces it right to the top.
And then it does numbers.
Then numbers and then
And
alphabet.
Okay.
Yep. So the next thing is each of these are sortable. Let's say I want to find the most recent of something. So I go to date modified, and now it's going to do it by date, by the latest, which would be the 19th on down. You can do this in any folder as well. And again, if you click it again, it goes to the oldest. If I go to the top of the list, 2014 is when that particular folder was made. And then by type. So let me show you what I mean here. Let's go into a folder. That's a good one to find here. Let's find the Stug one. Okay, and then let's say virtual meetings, and I've got all of these things here. And notice there's different types. And it tells me some are JPEG files and some are other. I can change by type, and now it puts all the Adobe Acrobat files together, all the Irfan View JPEGs together, and all my PowerPoints together, and then all my Word documents together. Sometimes that helps you find something when you're looking for it.
Sure.
And then I can go back, okay, let's go back to name. And again, we're alphabetical. And so when I come back up to documents and go to the top, it's back alphabetical. Now, there's also some other things that you can do with this. Let me make it so it's not full screen, so I can move it over a little bit. You'll notice here, share view. See where it says view?
Yeah.
Yes.
When I click that, now you can change the look of this and what it's going to do. We're in details right now. This reminds me of the old DOS days, if you go back that far, where that was the way you looked at a folder. Well, there's different ways you can look at your folder. So let's look at all the different ways. You've got medium icons. It'll look like this.
Don't like that.
If we look at content, it looks like this. If we look like this, it's list. It's just all of them. And then you just see a list.
Back up the content.
Sure.
What do you mean by content? I mean, I know what the word content.
It just shows you the name of it and then the date modified, and it's just like this.
Doesn't actually show you what's in the folder, just what the folder is called.
Yeah, it just shows you what the folder. And then if you click on the folder, then it will go back to this because that's the last way I had it.
Okay.
That one. See, it remembers how I've had it. So I can have mixtures of it. So let's look at list. Here's the list, and the large icons have bigger icons. So at different folders, you can have set up different ways. Here's what tiles look like. Then there's small icons and then extra large icons. What's nice about this is if you go to your photos folder, I'm going to go back to details, but let's go to, and you can, so I'm going to click on this PC up here, and it takes me back to this menu. If I go to pictures, district meeting. Okay, there's a lot of pictures there. So with here, those are large icons. If I go to extra large icon, I can actually see all of my pictures without having to open them all up.
You can do what the content of the file is. You can change it as well. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not changing anything. I'm just changing the view of it within the file manager.
Okay.
See,
So that's what
normally you would see it looking like this.
Mm-hmm.
But if I click on large icons, it's giving me a preview of each of the pictures.
If you had a file that had documents in it, not pictures, could you do the same thing that you would?
Well,
see
let's take a look at let's take a look at what we've got here. We'll go back here. We'll go to documents. I'm just trying to think where I might have some articles for blogs. Okay, so we got some things here. Let's see. Just trying to think of one that I might have. Let's see here. Cutting the cord. I got a Word document and a text document. So if I go to extra large icons, it'll show me the pictures like that. But no, the Word document will look like this, and the other will be like this. So it doesn't actually look at the documents, no.
Okay, so you can't see what's actually on the document without pulling it up. Okay.
Yeah, I seem to remember there's somehow you can, but preview pane. Yeah, okay, let's do one more thing here. Let's go see over here where I am, and I
Uh-huh.
click a preview pane. Now I've got a preview pane over here. Now if I come over and move over here, click on that, I will see it over here.
Oh, that's nice.
And if I go here, it'll have that information.
That's very helpful. It means you don't have to open up everything.
You don't have to open, and if I move right here, I can actually make it bigger like
And you can
this.
scroll down and see what it is without having to close it and open up something else.
Right, yeah, so see what I'm doing here?
Yeah.
And how do you close the preview?
Just come up to the preview pane here and go like that, and it goes away.
Super.
And then you come back to details, and there they are as a list.
I feel like I'm just starting to know Windows, and I've been on it for 15 years.
Yeah.
I understand.
Okay, let's, oh, by the way, see this little, I'm way down here in the bottom right-hand corner. If I click there, it minimizes everything.
Oh.
They're still open, but they're minimized.
You're
Okay,
kidding.
so
That little window that you hit, did it?
way down here in the far corner.
Oh, far corner, past that little window or a little
Yeah.
TV screen.
Yep,
Okay, wow.
that minimizes everything. So if I have a folder on this screen, like I got one here,
Mm-hmm.
okay, if I click that, it opens up that folder that I have saved on my desktop.
Right.
It could be a shortcut, but it could be a folder by itself as well. So now what are you saying? I'm not sure what your question is.
My problem was being that I have a folder on the screen that looks like that, and it has documents in it. And when I click on it to open it to get to the document that I want, it only shows in the detail form, it only shows maybe 6. It's an abbreviated look of what it is. And I have to either scroll through it or click on it again to open it wider. And it's not automatically becoming the whole folder to look at.
Is it like this? And let's see, let me move it up here a little bit more.
More or
Is it
less
something like
that.
this and you
Yes.
have to
Yes.
just try resizing it.
Okay.
And again, it's something else to resize. When you're looking at any folder, notice these little, remember I clicked on any of these and you can sort by them.
Right.
But at the end of them, if you move up here, you see the double arrow between each one.
Yes.
So you can only see a little bit of this. If you go here, and I'm going to click and I'm going to drag it.
Ah,
Now I can see the whole title.
just like with Excel cell.
Yep, absolutely.
And will it remember that if you go back next time?
Yeah, if I close that,
Very
if I
good
close
question.
it, if I close it and then open it.
That's fantastic.
Yes, it did.
Now, if you go to a different folder, it's going to be whatever that folder was.
Of
Yeah,
course.
you'll have to reconfigure
Yeah.
that folder.
You can right mouse click, say new and folder, and we'll call it Leah, just so you know that I just made it here. Now I've got a folder Leah, and let me move it. I'll just move it over here.
Mhm.
And I can take this and just take it and drop it. And now if I open up the Leah folder, there it is.
Mhm.
Is that what you're saying you can do?
No, what I would do is I would click on the document as if I was going to open it. But for some reason or another, maybe after 2 clicks,
If I double click
on
it, yeah, I double click it and it
opened
opens
up.
it.
Now, I guess I would have to close it somehow or another. I'm not sure exactly how it works, but I can click on it again and I get just a solid, don't have the blue. I just have, it's outlined in black and it's like that.
Yeah.
And then I can add to it another word.
Yeah, it's not highlighted now.
No,
So,
it's
yeah.
not highlighted, and I can put my arrow in there and click on that, and I can begin to add another word to it.
Oh, you can edit the title.
Yeah,
That's what you're doing.
that's what I'm doing, is editing the
Yeah,
title.
if you just click it and it highlights it like this with a darker blue,
Mhm.
then I could type in something else here and say,
And if I've got my arrow at
Yes.
the end of where you are there, at the end of the words, it will just allow me to go in.
but you'll notice, see this little arrow right here?
Yes,
That means it's a shortcut to something else.
yes.
The actual file is not on your desktop, it's somewhere else. And when
Uh-huh.
you click on it, it goes to that folder and opens it up. So if you, anytime you see that it's got that little arrow, if
Mhm.
I delete it, that program's still there. It's still, I can still find it. It's still on my computer. I just don't have a shortcut on my desktop to it. I don't need it. So I'm going to do the same thing here. I don't need that one.
I have a couple on mine that have those arrows.
Yeah. And if you don't want them there anymore, by deleting just the shortcut, you're not deleting the program
Oh, okay.
or access to it. And then also you can sort by on your screen. If you do it, then you can't go back to where you were, but you can sort by name and it'll do them alphabetically over here by size.
Oh.
You can auto arrange them. You can arrange them to a grid so that they're lined up.
Wow.
So by right mouse clicking anywhere on your screen in a blank spot and then go to view, you can change these. Right now it's at medium icons. You can make them large icons or small icons. And then I'll go back to medium. And then you can, again, you can sort them by name, size, item type, or date modified, and they'll arrange themselves on your desktop. So there's a lot of things you can do with these things. It's just having somebody show you how to do it.
Yes. And writing notes and remembering, being able to decipher your notes on how to do it.
Yeah. And then do it a few times. Once you do it a few
Yes.
times, then it becomes,
Yeah, it helps.
it helps. And there we go. A few tips to use Windows.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm going to try some of those. That looks pretty cool. All right, we will move on. I have a little something for you. Let's do a share here. Let's see where we go.
Ron Brown with Tech for Seniors. The new Kindle Fire tablet with Microsoft Office, just released in April of 2021. Let's have a look. Amazon has just released a whole new line of Fire HD tablets. This will include Microsoft Office and also a license on one version for Office 365. Wow, this is something new and such good value. This is crazy good. Let me explain. All right, I want you to look at the Fire HD 10 in this diagram here, and I want you to look at the 10.1 inch display. This is going to go on sale for $149 for the 32 gigabyte version. Wow, and this is going to include a copy of Office. And if you look to the right, you'll see the new HD bundle for $219 is going to include a full license version of Microsoft Office 365. This is an incredible deal. Let's have a look closer at this. Microsoft is launching its Office and OneNote app on Amazon Fire tablets today. Both apps are available in Amazon App Store, and the Office app combining Word, Excel, and PowerPoint into one single tablet app. But this is going to be available on the Fire HD 10 for the $149. Both the Office and OneNote apps will be available on Amazon's App Store in regions where Fire tablets are currently sold. Microsoft says it has timed the release of these apps to coincide with Amazon's new Fire HD 10 tablet. The $149.99 Fire HD has a thinner design, slimmed down bezels, and better specs. And Amazon is also offering a $219 bundle with a 12-month subscription fee to Microsoft 365 in the US, Canada, UK, Germany, and Japan. Now, this display is a bright, fast, zippy, responsive, vibrant 10.1-inch full HD display. Powerful performance thanks to a 3 GB RAM and an octa-core processor. Great for on the go. Enjoy up to 12 hours of reading, browsing the web over Wi-Fi, watching videos, and listening to music from anywhere. Type easily. The all-new made for Amazon Bluetooth keyboard with detachable case lets you comfortably catch up on email or make notes from anywhere, whether there's the couch or the kitchen table. Keep your tablet protected. Opt for the classic case as seen in the picture here. Screen time is now family time. Discover Amazon for Kids. Parents can create child profiles to limit screen time, set educational goals, and manage content with easy-to-use parental controls. Enjoy for free or subscribe to get more. Amazon Kids is free on every Fire tablet, or subscribe to Amazon Kids to access more than 20,000 kid-friendly titles. Now, I'm sure you're all going to race out to purchase one of these devices. It's such an incredible deal. But just a minute, hold your horses. I want you to stop and think for something. First of all, this is a new offer. And if you do go on the Amazon website, make sure you look for the new Fire HD tablets, because there's a lot of older models available. Currently, these are all sold out, but I want you to think about something. Amazon is having their Prime Day in July this year. All these are going to be on sale in a couple of months. So hold your horses and just wait a minute. But I bet you'll see that new Amazon Fire HD with Office 365 offered for $219. I bet you it comes down to about $180. There's going to be some incredible deals. These are really, really good tablets. All right, you know the routine. If you like this video, please click the like. And if you want to see more, just subscribe to the channel. It's Ron Brown with Tech for Seniors.
All right, thanks everyone for coming over on our YouTube side. Ray, are you about ready to go?
Ready as ever.
All right, again, thank you on our YouTube side for coming. We'll be closing the show now for the YouTube.
Cut off the YouTube side before Ray starts.
Yep, we'll be doing that. And